My name is Amanda Stanger. I'm the Indigenous Programs Manager for Relay Education. My role oversees all of our Indigenous programs and partnerships all throughout Canada. Well, I work with Indigenous communities all throughout the country. I am sort of a jack of all trades. I'm in the not-for-profit sector, so we're often writing a lot of grants in order to get projects off the ground. But really what it means to be an Indigenous Program Manager is relationship building of all different kinds. I like to build relationships with the communities that we work with in order to come together, to bring together ideas on renewable energy and education. And that could look like a energy week for youth that participate in an array of hands-on activities and different sorts of workshops where they learn different sorts of renewable energy and the benefits that those entail. Or projects can be at the adult level as well, where we're actually providing training on site to individuals to help create renewable projects in communities. So a typical work week for me would be variable depending on what it is I'm doing and where I am. 40 hours is pretty typical when I'm working from home, but when I'm traveling and doing programs on the road, a work week is probably closer to about 60 hours. Yeah, so a typical workday in my position would look like one of two things. Portion of my job is work from home. So on a typical work day at home, I would wake up and log into my computer at around 9 o'clock, check in on my teammates and start working on my daily tasks as part of my work plan. But the other part of my job involves travel. So when I'm traveling, I'm delivering programs on site or perhaps training to other individuals. And so a work day is usually about 10 hours when I'm on the road and involves a lot of setup and takedown. So in my position, teaching is a very strong skill. Any sort of experience you have working within the classroom or working with youth is definitely an asset. Problem solving is also a very big skill, along with working with other members of the team. We often have different projects going on in different components, so being able to problem solve, organize, and work with the team are definitely some of the strongest assets. So I have an undergraduate degree in criminology and Native Studies. I also went on to pursue a graduate diploma in environmental sciences with a sustainability diploma from York University. But that's not where my education ends by any means. I have lots of teachings bestowed upon me by our elders and traditional teachers who have a breadth of knowledge in respect to our Indigenous culture. I love teaching kids, so seeing the growth. We work with STEM materials and hands-on programming, so watching kids come out of their shell, build something that they've dreamed up on their own, watching that creativity come to life and actually seeing inspiration happen in the classroom is something that drives me in my position at Relay. Sometimes relying on technology is difficult because I work from home and we do have such a high reliance on technology day to day. So when something doesn't work, it is often challenging to deal with when you're in a remote location. But a close second would be just missing my family and children when I'm working away from home. So the starting salary would be around $30,000 annually. I think there would be a window from $30,000 to $60,000, and generally in my role that would differ if you were working in the not-for-profit versus private sector. So my field is very specialized and there's not a lot of Indigenous people working in this field with a graduate diploma. However, that being said, you definitely don't need a graduate degree to work in renewable energy. In fact, Indigenous groups right now are leading the way in renewable energy all across the country. And what we need more of is young professionals to come in and help support decolonizing our Indigenous nations and really ramp up the Indigenous ways of doing things, because frankly, it's just better for the environment. They say Indigenous people in Canada represent 5% of the population, but take care of over 80% of the biodiversity. So their ways of knowing and doing is really what should be mimicking the way of environmentally friendly. And there are so many different job possibilities working within that realm. Well, education is the stepping stone of adversity. Change can only happen through education and awareness. So that is in fact taking climate action. Having conversations, talking to youth about this is very important. And as an Indigenous proverb goes, it is not the elders that we inherit the earth from, we actually borrow it from our children. So with that in mind is the undertones of the notions of sustainability. First off, I would say get rid of what you think of a linear concept of success looks like, because it's not realistic. I did my undergrad in criminology, and here I am as an Indigenous Programs manager working for a not-for-profit that is now global. I never would have been here if you asked me what I thought I'd be doing 10 years ago. So my advice would be to do what you love, and the money will follow. Don't be driven just on what a salary range could be. Be passionate about what it is you love to do, and don't be derailed if success is not linear for you. Sometimes those twists and turns make out life and carve a really nice path that you don't expect. So it really has a suite of different programs and workshops. If you're a teacher or you're interested in spreading the word on renewable energy, having your kids engage in some STEM activities and some fun hands-on learning, check us out. We're always looking for part-time staff for facilitation. So if you're interested in teaching, this is a great way of getting some hands-on experience, getting in the classroom to different parts of the country. And we are national, so from coast to coast to coast. Thanks for watching.